What's up, everybody? It's Andrew coming back at you with another episode of the Jaguar podcast, and it's game preview time. Week 15, the Jags versus the Ravens. So let's get into it. The Jags are coming off a disappointing loss to the Cleveland Browns and will be coming into a very difficult game in Duval County against the Ravens. The Ravens are 10-3. Very good football team, lots of weapons. They have one of the top defenses in the NFL. And this is going to be a really difficult game for Jacksonville. The Ravens, I think, are scoring about 28 points per game. And the Jags are, I think, putting up around 24. So the Jags are going to have to step it up offensively. They're going to have to play much better football, much more disciplined football, not give up the turnovers that they did in the Cleveland game. They gave up 4 turnovers, so they got to clean that up. Trevor threw 3 picks. One of them really didn't look like it was his fault, but then you had a fumble as well from Parker Washington, so we got to clean it up. Got to get pressure on the quarterback, play better defense, and we got to do a lot of things. But let's go into the keys to this game. Offensively, Jacksonville has to minimize the turnovers. Like I said, they had 4 in the game against Cleveland. They got to pass protect better, too. Trevor got sacked a couple times. So, the offensive line is banged up. Ezra Cleveland was kind of repping in there for Walker Little at left tackle. Then he got banged up. He's listed as questionable. So Blake Hance is taking reps at left tackle. So we'll see who gets the start in the game against the Ravens. But, the Jaguars have to pass protect better. The Ravens have a very good defensive line. Justin Madubuike, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. He is a very good interior lineman, has 11 sacks this year. Brandon Sheriff and Anton Harrison are going to have to do a good job in minimizing him, hopefully getting good pass protection and getting some push so that we get the running game going. But, we got to run the football too. I think we had 58 yards rushing in the game against the Browns. That's not going to cut it. I mean, especially when you're going up against, I think Ravens have the 8th rated pass defense in the NFL. They're 8th in the league. So, we have to get the running game going. So, we're going to have to work Travis Etienne and Dearness Johnson. Take some of the heat off of Trevor so that, we can get something going and then open up the passing game. Let Trevor stretch his arm out there. Go play action. Stretch the field. We're going to have to create mismatches with Zay Jones and Parker Washington. So, they're going to have to get open. They're going to have to create mismatches in that Baltimore secondary. Evan Ingram, got to utilize him as well for those underneath routes and those crossing routes, as well as Ridley, who I feel like runs the crossing route really well. So, we got to target him. Trev and Calvin got to get on the same page. The coaching staff said that they weren't having any miscommunications, but I don't know if I'm buying it. I think there were miscommunications. So Trev and Calvin got to get on the same page, hopefully have some connections there, and hopefully move the chains downfield, get the passing game going. But I think that's what they have to do in order to win this game offensively. They got to mix it up. But if we don't get a running game going, it's going to be really difficult for the Jaguars to do anything against this Baltimore defense. So we have to do that. Let's go into some of the keys of the game defensively. The Jags are going to have to get pressure on a quarterback. We didn't really have any sacks on the defensive line last game against the Browns. I know Antonio Johnson, he had a strip sack there, but he's a defensive back. So obviously, Josh Allen's got to get going in this game. Trayvon Walker's got to get going in this game as well. Going to have to get pressure on Lamar Jackson. He'll probably get flushed out of the pocket, so he's going to try to use his legs and run and, extend plays, get first down. So the edge rushers, Allen and Walker, they're going to have really good outside contain, and also Devin Lloyd and Aluakon are going to have to really be watching and shadowing Lamar Jackson like a hawk and not letting him, get free and extend those plays and get first down. So, the linebackers have to play very disciplined football. Our secondary's banged up too. Tyson Campbell, he's, still, I feel like, not 100% from that hamstring injury. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets the start in this game. They did say that he's practicing this week, but Buster Brown's going to have to be ready. Darius Williams is going to have another good game. He had an interception in the game against the Browns, so he's having a great year. Kudos to him. He's just got to keep it up, and the rest of the defense has got to play well too. Mike Caldwell's got to come in with a great game plan. Maybe throw some different looks at him. Some zone blitzes, some different looks to try to confuse Lamar, but got to get pressure on the quarterback. Got to be able to, cover the Ravens wide receivers like Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham Jr., two deep threats there. So, Williams and if it's Buster Brown, he's going to have to lock OBJ down as well. Then, I hope to see Antonio Johnson kind of get some more reps in this game. He had a really, really nice game against the Browns. He's a defensive back. I believe he plays safety. We drafted him out of A&M, and he was making plays. So, maybe I think he can play a little bit of corner. I wouldn't mind seeing him play, in nickel schemes or, maybe even try to convert him into a full-time corner and, get him some reps there because we need all the help we can get. Our secondary's banged up. So, yeah, Jags have to play sound football, not give up any big plays. Hopefully, create some takeaways that allow us to score some points because the Ravens have a really good offense and they're explosive. So, those are some of the keys to the game defensively. Let's go into some of the key matchups. We'll start offensively with Jacksonville. We'll have wide receiver Zay Jones versus cornerback Marlon Humphrey. Zay, he's going to have a much better game, against the Ravens. He did have some miscommunications, quote unquote, with Trev in the last game against the Browns. So he's going to have to get going in this game. He's going to have to win some of these matchups against Marlon Humphrey. And, I think he's a really good wide receiver, so he can win these battles. But he's going to have to step it up because Christian Kirk is out, I believe, for the rest of the season. So Zay's got to step it up. He's got to win these these matchups and battles. So that is one of them. We'll go to the next one. Anton Harrison, our right tackle, and Brandon Sheriff versus Justin Madubuike. Really good interior defensive lineman, good pass rush there. And they're going to have to work together. They're going to have to minimize him and protect Trevor, or else he's going to wreak havoc for the Ravens and wreak havoc on our offense. So that's the second matchup to look out for. And then the third matchup here is Evan Ingram, our tight end, who's having a hell of a season versus, I believe it's Kyle Hamilton or Daryl Worley, two safeties. I think Hamilton might not get the start. He's listed as questionable, but Ingram has to get going here. Hopefully he gets his fifth touchdown, I believe, in this game against the Ravens. Get him going, and he's going to have to kind of pick up the slack there for the wide receiving core because, we have some injuries. But I'd like to see, Jacksonville work the over-the-middle routes, the underneath routes, because he's really good at those, and he's explosive, and he's a weapon for us. All right, so let's go to defense. To start off with Josh Allen, our edge rusher there versus Ronnie Stanley, left tackle for the Ravens. So Allen's got to, have a better game. Hopefully he gets a sack in this game against, the Ravens, against Lamar Jackson. He's got to get pressure. He's going to have to get his hands up, force Lamar Jackson to throw the ball early, to hurry it, maybe make some mistakes, maybe throw a pick, force some turnovers there. But Allen's got to get going in order for us to be successful. Darius Williams, our corner, This is the next matchup versus Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, I believe, is ace wide receiver for the Ravens, so they're going to be battling it out. Williams just has to play sound football. He's having a lights out season. He's just got to, stick on Zay Flowers and minimize him this game. And then last matchup we have here is Rayshon Jenkins, our strong safety versus Isaiah Likely, the tight end for the Ravens. So Mark Andrews is out, thank God, for the rest of the season. Otherwise, the Ravens might put up 50 points on us if he was there, because he's a huge weapon for the Ravens. But, Rayshon's got to have a better game. He's got to lock down, Likely, not give up any big plays. He's been a little suspect the past 2 games, the one in the game against the Bengals and then the Browns. So he's got to clean it up. But, hopefully he wins this matchup and locks him down. But, I think the Jaguars can come away with an upset in this game. I think the Ravens are actually favored by 3.5 points in this matchup per, I think, Sportsline. But I am picking the Jaguars here. I'm going to go 27-30. Jaguars win at home. Upset on Sunday Night Football. But how do you guys feel about this matchup? Do you think the Jaguars are going to win or lose? Let me know how you feel. Leave a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. Always awesome hearing from you guys. And, smash that like button for this video. It always helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you would like to support my work, hit that red subscribe button. It's free, and I really appreciate it. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.
Duval! What's up, everybody? It's Andrew from the Jaguar Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always. And remember, this is a podcast, so you can find this pretty much wherever you find podcasts. Subscribe to it. Go Jags, and I'll see you next time.